What we're talking about is immediately this inescapably the hearing of a voice, inescapably whatever thoughts, feelings, sensations, reactions, whatever is appearing to happen is the mystery, is inescapably a mystery that won't be known as mystery, won't be seen apart as mystery. But mystery is as good as it gets in terms of a word, but it's a mystery that is also where mystery is a mystery. And not one word can be said about this mystery, and yet that will touch or hold or bind this to make it noble. And yet this appears as apparently describing, apparently words being used. And that seems to be how the communication that seems to come out of this gob here is a constant return to the inescapableness of whatever is appearing to happen, however that is, for better and worse, for whatever is felt, thought. And the other part of what's being talked about here or shared here is that this is the happening, and that there is no one doing the happening, no one thinking a thought, feeling a feeling, that it's just happening, that there is no self, and there's no orchestrator, no author who is doing life, that there's just life, or there's just what is, not you. And then even saying there's just what is, it won't then be known as a thing apart over there. This is what is. This is the hearing, let's just say, of a voice. And where in essence actually the point of what's been said here is that there isn't a point. The point is actually just the sound of a voice at its very best, perhaps. And that this is a sharing, a coming together, a gathering, and where anything can be said or asked. And so if anything is there to be asked, then just ask or put a comment in the box there and go for it. You can't ask a wrong question, or something clever, or something insightful, because it's just what is, or what's appearing to happen. So it doesn't matter. Nothing matters. And that's why this is free to be exactly how it appears to be being. So let's see what happens. And yeah.
So Frank, the
Hiya.
character just hiya. The character just seems to continue going about what it does.
Yeah, as always, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. No change whatsoever, yeah. It's always just happening. Hard to believe that it was every thought, every sensation, every feeling, everything. Lock, stock, smoke and barrel, just appearing to happen. Just like this description appears to happen, as opposed to it being a known thing.
And maybe sometimes a lightening up of the reaction to stuff.
Yeah, that's a possibility too, yeah. Or it's quicker, maybe you could say, if you were to, it's just a more unfiltered, you could say, but that's,
Maybe less dwelling kind of stuff.
yeah, potentially, or maybe more full, more everything. So potentially more horrible and more pissed off, but equally more whatever, full everything. The dream is that this should be a state, not ordinary feeling pissed off, not fully that. Needs to be a state once removed. But the mystery is every inch. But
Like
it appears, say that again.
Pissed off. Justified pissed off.
Well, just fully that then. It's just no kind of and it is already that, you know, so that it's a sort of a vague it's just what it appears to be then. It's not like it can be pushed away, you know. And even then, if it's, oh, I don't really want to feel this way or whatever, that would also be just happening. You know, it's just, the dream is that it can be a state and then suddenly it's once removed from over here and the feelings are there. You know, that can be the dream, or there won't be any kind of, how do you say?
Like untouchable. He'll be
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So when the car comes up behind
unaffected.
you, or a car doesn't let you out of the driveway, you just go, oh, well, that's just what is. No, no, it's fully just reactions, fully whatever is appearing. Nobody is driving the bus, but there never was anybody driving, you know.
Yeah, can you talk more about that? There never was. That's the hard one. That's a hard one to.
So there's nobody asked that question there. And that can't be known. So then saying the sentence, the dilemma then is when you hear the sentence, oh, well, that can't be known, then he must know that it can't be known, and I want to know that. That can be what appears to happen then. But yeah, simply just can't know the sentence that is coming out of a mouth. You can't know the sensations that are appearing. They just appear, and including the feeling. There's just no one, there was no one ever growing the nails, the hairs, and the feelings, the sensations, the thinking. There was no one ever. But there can't, it won't then, the dilemma is that that will be known. And then I'll know that there's no one. But if there was always never anyone, and it was just what was happening, then that can't be known. It can't be known then. There'd have to have been someone. And so then you could say, and then this is where the carrot or the seeker loves, you could say that the relaxation is for no one then. So that then there's just what's appearing to happen, but there was always just that. There'd have to have been someone that could fall away. So there's no one thinking a thought or feeling a feeling, or the butting, or the seeking, or the wondering, or the curiosity, or the fantasies, or the desires, or every tiny inch is already the case, just happening. So there's no one inside the tree, in the dogs, or in the peopling. It's just that. And so then it appears through words that things can be known because, well, I know I'm here and this is the phone. So then that's a description. but the description appearing won't ever know itself. It's just a description appearing. It's just words, and it won't then, it's somehow the navigational system seems to be the reality maker. You could say, if you were to be creative with words, that the navigational system of words becomes the reality maker. And so then life is life, and I am here, and the world is there. But the other description is that it's just happening, and there is no one in there. But there never was. And that is impossible till perhaps those words then come out of the mouth. But it won't be a known thing, and it's just words, so it doesn't matter what's said, really.
So the like kind of the thing that apparently happens like a consequence, you know, like he kicked me and so I smacked him back or something. You know, the I bit, I mean, that may happen and it may seem like a consequence, but it's just the me claiming it, saying because he, then I kind of stuff on top of it.
Yeah, it seems to be that's the story being told, and without the story maker and making and every description that appears, this is impossible. It's impossible because no words get close to the sound and hearing of no words get close. No matter what's said, no matter what description, like there's just this suddenness, right? And then it appears like there's a gazillion stories about this, a gazillion billion about this, what is, and yet the stories appearing won't ever find themselves. It's just another story appearing, words. And in a way, you see, you could say that the realness falls out of words. And yet it appears then only certain words are used, and that the vocabulary used when a description like this appears is quite confined, it seems. And that might be just down to the not pinging the mind into some sort of rabbit hole. And like, you know, the me and I and the self and liberation and all of these, you see, it's always kind of trying to find one thing that's definitely real. So there definitely is a self though, Frank. Well, okay, if that's what's been said and described, then, or there's definitely a character. Well, there, if that's what's been felt and described, but it's sort of trying to make at least one thing real. And then it can be, oh, well, I mean, there is a self that can fall away though. That can happen. So it's like kind of almost being stuck in the motion of the of something other. And in a way, you could say that the headline news for that which is seeking is, you know, the name of the film is this. It can't be this. It has to be knowable. There has to be able to be a story to be told about it. And that applies with everything. And the worst part is that even saying there's just what is, or there's just what's appearing to happen, that's also a story. And it won't hold this then. And it won't be known. So not a word can be said then, and yet appears as saying not a word can be said. And so so it's this then, just hearing of a voice, you know, and whatever then reaction. And if stories appear, or wonderings and curiosity or seeking appears, then that would be also what is, or the happening, or wholeness as that. But wholeness is just a nice kind of glamorous word that is cozy. It's not necessarily cozy.
You.
You see, the essence really is that there isn't a me, there isn't a self. That's the essence of this, you could say. But there is what's appearing to happen, and if what's felt and being described is that there is a self or there is a me, and etc., then that would be what's happening. Sometimes that can be said, and it's a sort of a question. There is a self, though, isn't there, Frank? I mean, and I don't know. That's what you're describing and feeling. So okay. But it isn't validated here. Nor is in the same breath somebody else coming along going, well, I finally discovered that there is no self. Okay. That's great too.
So, Frank, what is it that knows that nothing can be known?
So it's just a sentence appearing. It's a sentence appearing to be used. No one knows that. It's just a sentence appearing. And you could say it's a sentence from nothing, and then that kind of, but nothing isn't a place. You know, nothing isn't a source then from which it comes from. So then you can just say, well, all there is the hearing of a voice. Or all there is fully hearing.
So there's hearing and there's looking, and
well, that's
without a person. Like if I would describe it now to you in words, using words, there's just hearing.
Well,
and
so yeah. That's
looking.
just a description then appearing, but it's not actually then making it a thing apart. The mystery is actually as describing as opposed to what's been said. The point of what's been said is what's been said, is the sound of a voice as opposed to any point being made. In other words, it would be the same as a dog barking. Saying a dog barking is the same as saying this is it, or a bird, or whatever. It's this izziness that's inexplicable, but it's not then a thing apart that can be known as inexplicable. That's just a sentence appearing. So then you could just say, well, this is nothing, but then it won't be known then, and nothing isn't a thing. It just won't be held by any word.
But it gets a bit weird, because it just seems like there's nothing there. Like looking and just being in wherever you are, it just seems so weird.
You could say it's fully as the saying of it's just so weird. That's what is then.
It's just not real. Doesn't seem real.
Real isn't a thing, nor is unreal. You could say it's real and unreal. That can be said, but it won't be then. It's not. able to be described.
No. Like there's afterwards there's an attempt to describe.
Yeah, but you could say you could say it's a sort of a singing. It's for its own sake. Then this is a kind of a sharing. Then for its own sake, that just seems to appear. It's kind of inexplicable, but like everything is inexplicable. But a description like this or a sharing like this is also just kind of unfathomable, because it's no one's. It's not like anything then is being described or said or shared or prescribed, which is the normal way of things. And yet it seems like there's a bit of a joy at the actual happening, or it's a joy for its own sharing, and a joy for kind of going, it's unbelievable. But that's also unbelievably saying it's unbelievable is also just a description appearing. That's words being used then, describing, you could say, but also it can't be described. So then all it is singing. So you could just start singing, playing the guitar. It doesn't have to be a sharing with a microphone. It's as everything. So it's not like then when this is all ends, suddenly they'll be wanting to be grabbing a microphone and talking. But it might be in there as a kind of but it might come out in art, in singing, or walking the dog, or planting trees in the garden. It's as everything. It's not, it's just somehow, it's kind of surprising then that this sort of description appears, but it's not a known thing. And everything else, every other communication is knowable or get head aroundable. But what will never be gotten is the attempt to catch, because it's too late, and too late is too late. But it's not like it's fast or slow. It's just inexplicable that anything, and that's the kind of sort of naturally already the case, that it doesn't require words. It doesn't require, grabbing a microphone and saying there's no self. It doesn't require anything at all. Just so happens then that these sorts of sharings happen. Like everything just happens.
Being able to speak about it helps to identify or come to understand. Speech is it strikes me that speech is a necessary part of understanding the way it's always been.
We see nothing is essential. Absolutely nothing is essential. But it seems like that seeking is something that appears to happen, and then this sort of communication comes upon, let's just say, and it's not that the words being used are making anything okay in that mind or in the words and the story maker, but there's something about the unknowability that is attractive. But it won't ever be, it's not even attractive as the word. That's probably why words like resonance are used, that it's not about it being explained. It's not about the, I've got it now, or anything like that. But there is, you could say, something beyond the words that brings this back when nothing is being described, and when it's an uncompromising message, let's just say, without making it something, that there's something beyond the words then that draws you back, let's just say, or that, and it's in the freedom, it's as the freedom, it's when nothing is being described. That's the sort of fuzziness that won't be known. That's what I think, that's what you're kind of talking about, but it's nothing to do with understanding at all. It's absolutely, because, it's not about the sentences. It's about the sort of freedom where nothing then is being described, and the words aren't angular or technical or knowable, and everything then is kind of, destroyed in a way. Any kind of insight is obviously seen as pointless, because it's it's ludicrous to say that this can be held by words. So it's just nothing to do with understanding at all. And then the slate, you could say, is cleaned in an exhale and full up again in an inhale. Well, that's too many words, you know, but it's just nothing to do with understanding as to why, and there isn't a why, but there's a drawn resonance to this sort of communication. And my sense is that it's just in and of the freedom. And that's the tickling, that's the in the belly, that's the inexplicableness that's just naturally there. But it won't ever be met then. It's not like you can go and agree then, oh, okay, we're agreeing. Actually, we could be having a full-on row, let's just play, and it would be as the row. And you could say that's the inexplicableness. And then the row would be over and be all right. You know, so it's not soft and cuddly and pink. It's fucking free. Free to be soft and cuddly and pink, but also to be roaring rage. Everything. And nothing.
And I can't know it.
And you can't know. You can't know. I can't know it. You can't know that sentence. It's too late. Everything is too late. But it's not like it's too late or too early as a kind of a time thing. It's just as everything. So then it's free to be exactly as how it's appearing to be, which obviously can include then feeling constrained, separate, or whatever is being felt and described. And so then maybe you can say there's just what's appearing to happen. But then the little in brackets with that is that it won't be known as that, because this is as what's appearing to happen, as hearing, as whatever. And maybe they're the most words then that can be used. Or you can just say, this is nothing.
So what's the difference between someone who knows, someone who knows that and someone who doesn't know that? Someone who can speak about this and someone who hasn't a clue and cannot speak about it. What's the difference?
There is no one. There is no one. There's no one asked that. There's no one asked that question there. No one said that, made those sentences. No one is replying. There isn't anyone.
Okay.
And it won't be, you see, the thing is, nobody knows that. That's the, you see, when the sentence is heard that there is no one, what happens, what appears to happen is the wanting to know that there is no one. That's if a voice is speaking, no, the voice must have knowledge to back that up, because that's how 99 operate, that there is a knowledge to back up the voice. There's proof of what's being said. He's speaking a truth, right? That's how it works. And the dilemma is that no one, and the impossibility is that there is no one speaking. It's just speaking. And so no one knows there's no one, because there is no one. And then, you know, when sentences like, you know, I know sometimes they use sentences like, well, there's no one in the tree, no one blowing the wind, no one in the grass. And in a way, those sentences appear as if, oh, well, it can be explained then that there's no one. But the explaining, this live appearing to happen, can't be explained because it's too inescapably whatever is, whatever thoughts arise, whatever buts, whatever feelings. Do you mean to say that it's also, do you mean to say, Frank? Yeah, it's everything. Everything. And that's the kind of, that's the, oh, this is bullshit, right? Okay. This is brilliant, right? Okay. This does not, Frank doesn't have a clue.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter.
Doesn't fucking matter at all, yeah.
Doesn't matter at all.
Doesn't matter one fucking
care
tiny
less.
bit. Ah, yeah.
No. Thank you.
Thank you.
Morning, Frank.
Oh, hiya, Andy.
This is a lovely group here, quite small. What was I going to say? I guess there's a memory here of something that I guess when I was, I'm talking about a good 20 years ago, there were these, what I described at the time, because I didn't know what it was, a petit mal, a kind of episode or gap of some sort. And yet there was seeing. And the reason I'm raising it to you is that I think is I suppose I have no idea to this day what was going on. These things just kind of popped, and I'm relating it to these discussions and thinking, compared to that, what's in my memory, the technical, the explanations here seem rather technical and difficult in some ways for people to grasp, because that's all it's all about. It's all about grasping. And I sense that at the time, if I've got a memory of this that's in any way accurate, it was just dead bone and simple. There was absolutely nothing but obviousness. And no technical ideas of, real or unreal or time or any of the other stuff that we talk about ever surfaced in any way. Because the I was somehow a joke at that moment, or whatever it was. And there was a general sense of just wonder and wow, and at the same time hilariousness. I couldn't understand. But where did that come from? I mean, there was also a slight paranoia that arose. They won't get the joke, so I got to try and keep a straight face here. But there was no. But as I say, the reason I'm mentioning it is that A, it's a small group. I don't really like advertising this broadly, and B, it's the question is what you're talking about dead bone simple in the same way, and there's just really no need for these technical explanations to the grasping.
Well, but the unfathomable or whatever is that what was asked there is the mystery. Is this? That's how simple it fucking is. It's immediately, inescapably what was asked there. Inescapably that. That's how simple it is, but that won't be known. All the while, the knowing tries to go on, but it's as simple as what was asked there. It's as that. End of story. Over. Every inch, every thought, every feeling, every sensation, everything. That's how painfully fucking simple it is. And ordinary.
Yeah. There's no sense here now of hilariousness or except in that memory, apparently.
You see, then the image maker wants it to be,
Yeah.
oh, it should be hilarious. So it has to be that, or the joke
Yeah.
has to be seen. But then there would be someone in there who sees it. How can they see their own attempt to see this? It's that question there that was asked, and there seems to be a seriousness about that question. And that's, it's laden down, or it's heavy with trying to find meaning, trying to find this. And yet it appears as trying to find this. You're not doing that. There's just that happening. This is this happening. And it is painfully, horribly, torturously, wonderfully, stunningly simple.
Yeah, I guess
But
I'm trying to
not
find
just
out if there's
anything.
meaning to it.
Meaning.
Or
Well,
relevance, but not meaning, but relevance.
no.
Should I just kind of completely ignore that question, or should I? And so it's, yeah.
It's asked then, should I? I mean, that's what's been asked then, should I? Should I? Sure, I haven't a clue.
No. No, neither have I, and there's no, yeah. So a technical explanation would be to say there is no I to think those things. It's just what's happening. But my memory is that there was no such technical description at that time. It was just bloody obvious.
You see, in a way, let's just say words appear to be used, right? So this is now a description appearing, but nothing is being described.
Nothing is being described, or
Nothing is being described
is
here.
being described.
Nothing is being described. It's just words, sounds, thoughts, or whatever. It's just words appearing, but nothing is being described. Nothing at all. Nothing.
Right. Nothing.
So then nothing is known. And it isn't about all the knowledge, all the gains, all the acquisitions. It's not about the havings. It's not about I've got this or I've lost this. It's this. It's inescapably this. And so then whatever is being thought, felt, or whatever, but what's coming out of this mouth, there's nothing at all being described. So even at the start, when there's a story told about self, no self, that makes it then seem like this then could be known as whatever. Nothing is knowable. And the obviousness is that it appears as everything, including...
So the relevance... Sorry.
Go on, sorry, what were you saying about relevance?
I was going to say, so the relevance is effectively another way of saying knowable.
Well, I'm not quite... What do you say? Relevance?
Well, I'm saying that if I'm asking the question of myself here, is what I'm describing 20 years ago, apparently, which is now just a memory, is there relevance to that? Is there a connection between that and this?
Well,
and that is a sense of wanting to have knowing.
In a way, what seems to me like is that there's a distinct memory of something that was other than the knowable, and the memory was held because of, there was nothing, we'll say, not many things compared to it. It was one that kind of split the brain, opened, and that's held somehow or other, let's just say, held to be this. And so ordinary, somehow the asking of the question and wondering about that memory, that can't be this. And what's the response to that is, well, all there is this though. There's just that appearing to happen. So then flooding the senses as the memory, as the wondering, as the thinking about, is that relevant, as everything. That's just fully what it appears to be then. But you see, the problem with questions and answers is that that one is hoping, or wondering, asking a question and expecting an answer to go yes or no, and all there is just a response. That there's just that. Then there's just whatever is felt, the memory, everything though.
Cool. Thank you. You haven't answered anything, but thank you. Great chat.
Yeah, and nothing. Absolutely, yeah. Because you see, in a way, like, if there was something known here, right? If there was something known that I could definitely tell Andy about it, and Andy'd go, whatever Andy would go, and we'd have a good old chin wag about it and agree or disagree. Here, there's absolutely nothing to agree upon, because it is appearing as the hearing of there's absolutely nothing to agree upon, and or then whatever reaction to that sentence. But like, really, there's nothing known. And if it was to be known, it would get very stale very quickly. If it could be had, you'd have to hold on real tight.
No, I left this alone 20 years ago. There's nothing that I'm trying to grab onto in that sense. It's a memory.
Yeah, I mean, there can be those sort of distinct mind splitters or whatever that are incomparable to anything else. And yet the words come in then about those sorts of whatever. But that would also just, you see, the problem is with experiences, it's like having a cup of tea is just only having a cup of tea. A peak boundless experience is something other, or a big psychedelic experience is way better than something else, and it's all just basically making something out of nothing and trying to hold on to what this is and what it's not, and all that seems to come out of this mouth is, well, there's just everything, and it is as everything, including wondering about that or feeling that it's not or whatever. And the heaviness can die then when all the meaning is gone. But it won't be anyone's then.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you. It's messaging to me to say you cannot catch it. It is everything and not nothing. You can't not catch it or not catch it. It is as everything and nothing, and you're not there, in there, trying to catch it. It's just trying to catch it.
Hey, Frank.
Hiya.
Hey. I just thought that it is really nice that that you don't have any intentions with us to correct or to point out or to anything, because I shared something on Instagram today, and someone apparently deeply involved in non-duality commented it, but it was coming from such a mental place, and it's completely a different kind of energy. Like, I can sense the difference. It's yeah, I just wanted to share that. Yeah, yeah. It's nice to have a chat without much intention, any intention even.
No
Yeah.
intention
No
whatsoever.
intention.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
And that's it's as much a mystery here, you could
Yeah.
say. I'm blown away by this communication.
Yeah.
That's not my communication.
Yeah.
Nothing is mine and nothing is yours. All of it.
But I still feel that you have quite an infectious aliveness. I love it. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, you could tell my wife.
I know. You've already mentioned that she's I think she might regard it occasionally as a bit artist, but she will manage it. Yeah. Oh, and what's about Paris going on? Will it happen?
Oh, yeah. Well, I just trying to figure it out. I had to look at one. I got a new quote from a different room, so I might just, yeah. I just feel like a solution is going to present itself, and I don't know what that solution is yet. That might be not a solution either. So we'll just see. I feel like I'll figure it out, but I don't really know either. So we'll see. But I've got a couple of quotes, and some of them are just, too expensive. So, but I will figure it out. I'll let you know, one way or t'other.
Yeah.
Hi, Frank.
Hi, Gareth.
What's the point of live meetings in person? Are they different to Zooms?
I think it's like everything really. A screen or the presence, being beside somebody. I think it's more alive. But I don't know. And when I did the live meeting, it was the blended one back in June. I loved the in the room. I loved just the vibe in the room. Meeting people and that sort of thing. I kind of just really enjoyed that. It seemed more electric, but I don't know either. It's like going to a concert, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or watching it on the phone. It would be different sensory wise, that's for sure.
Yeah.
You could say.
If my wife wanted to go and see Bon Jovi, I could say, what's the point? You've got the record.
Yeah, exactly. Bon Jovi, brilliant. Yeah. But she could just go on her own. She could go on her own.
Are you suggesting that resonance is more likely?
No, I'm not suggesting that at all. No, I'm just describing what I felt myself when I there's first the screen, and then there was a chatting with people in the room. And I think during the lunchtime, I kind of loved the interaction during the lunch hour because I wasn't focusing on the screen and the room. It was just that interaction. We were all around in a circle for a little while, and I kind of really enjoyed that. So that's just a preference, really. You can be drinking a barrel of whiskey, and that's the resonance. It's just what is. It's not, there's no, oh, come to one of these meetings and you'll fall away. No. The meeting, you can go for a walk or scratch your head or drink a cup of coffee or smoke a lovely packet of cigarettes or whatever. So you said smoke cigarettes, Frank? Well, Yeah. Sponsored by Marlborough. No, I'm not, just for the record.
I think for the seeker, the thought of a radical non-dual speaker coming to town seems to be exciting, but I don't know. Not sure where I'm going with that. Then.
It is exciting. I would find it exciting. Yeah, but it's more just what is it? What is exciting about it? I couldn't tell you. It's just pure excitement, not yeah, they're a pure excitement. It's just there's something, you see, really, this is no one's communication. Nothing, no one's communication. And it's no one's sharing. And I don't know, yeah. Sort of amazing that there's any kind of gathering. It's sort of amazing that this meeting in a room could happen. See what happens. Could all end tomorrow then. You know, this is so, it's no one's, it might just be never another meeting. That's possible, totally possible. Might delete the book. You know, I don't know.
Don't delete the book.
No, I won't. Yeah. I need to grammar. I need to get the grammar sorted. That's what I'm saying anyway. Okay. So it's Double Tuesday. So I think there's another meeting this evening. So I might see some of you there. All right. Have a lovely rest of the day. Take it
Thank
easy.
you, Frank.
See you later.
Thank you, Frank.
Bye.
Thanks very much, Frank.
I say it again, you know, the telephone number is there on my website. Just it's there and it's free and whatever. So I'm not lonely looking for calls, but it just the telephone number is there, and if the urge is there, then ring. So okay, all right. Have a lovely day.
Thank you, Frank.
See you later. Bye bye.
Bye.